So the research that I'm doing involves looking at vacant lots to see how they function biologically throughout Baltimore City. Vacant lots are a large problem in Baltimore City. The city has over 3,000 parcels. So we're looking at how they help the bird communities throughout the city. So how diverse of bird communities these lots support, how healthy these birds are, and how successful they are breeding. So we're also monitoring nests to do so.
Christine is aided in her research by a few field technicians. The technicians take turns going into the field with her on weekdays. They go to various vacant lots, which range from trash heaps to beautifully maintained parks. While Christine uses the data that she collects for her own work, the Baltimore Ecosystem Study, BES, employs her, and she gathers point count data for the company. The group has to wake up early, before dawn, because the early bird gets the worm. Birds are most active in the hours between dawn and about 10 in the morning during the summer months. To study birds, one must rise with the birds. While studying birds is not inherently dangerous, some of the perils that researchers and field technicians do face include mosquitoes, poison ivy, and ticks, among other things. Precautions must be taken to avoid these organisms. What techniques do you use to study birds?
So the primary technique that we use to survey birds are called point counts. Point counts are a standardized protocol where you stand one place for a standard amount of time. In this case, it's 5 minutes that we use. And you see and hear all the birds that you can within a certain distance. So we do that for 5 minutes at each of our sites 3 times a year in order to capture any seasonal variation. And it's useful just to have that standard measurement. So anybody could do a point count in any location, anywhere throughout the world. They're more useful in the summer where the birds are singing and they're actively trying to set up territories in order to mate. So you hear them a lot more often, but you could also use them in winter to do winter bird surveys, which we have done in Baltimore in the past with the Baltimore Ecosystem Study.
In order to be efficient, one person will search for nests while the others perform the point count. Every nest that is found is monitored.
So when we monitor nests, we're looking for, first of all, what species are even nesting in that site. It tells a lot about the habitat that is currently being used, what species these birds prefer to nest in, how high they prefer to nest, and how dense of an area they prefer to nest in. So overall, nesting habitat selection choices of these species.
This is a gray catbird, named after its mewling call. Gray catbirds are quite common in Baltimore. Many of the nests monitored belong to catbirds.
She on?
No, nobody's on.
The birds in this nest have just hatched.
Yeah, there's at least 2. How many do we expect to be
The
there?
mother anxiously observes from afar.
Would be normal. Oh, there's the mama.
Yeah, there's Mom.
Eyes are closed.
Christine removes one of the nestlings to get a better look at it.
Her ears. When they hatch out of the nest, they have a little tiny blip on their beak, which you can still kind of see left in this one. It goes away when they age, but it helps them hatch out of the nest. We're looking at how successful these nests are. So does this site have a lot of cats that eat the nest, unfortunately, or the eggs within the nest? Do we have a lot of aerial predators like hawks or crows that will get the nest easier? So it's a measure of where these birds like to nest and how well they do at choosing the sites that will get them the most success in their nesting.
The team returns to the nest a second time.
This is a 1 or 2 day old. I would say 2 days old by this point. Obviously very well fed.
Yeah.
you know it's that old because it's starting to have that fuzz now. It's the down.
Yeah.
When they're first born, they're completely naked.
Okay.
And their eyes are not open yet. It's well fed because it has a really big. These are all of its guts.
Okay.
And that is the cloaca that we check for males to see if it's distended in adults. And it's very happy because it's very young. I wish I had my camera. And that's all of its guts. So it is an old wives' tale that you shouldn't pick up the nestlings. But it's good because disturbing the nest sometimes makes the female abandon it. But you won't imprint your scent on it and the female won't come back. That's an old wives' tale.
Okay.
You could also see the ear really well behind the eye.
Oh yeah, sure thing.
That opening. Alright, I'll put this little guy.
A different nest that was monitored belonged to a northern mockingbird, another species common to Baltimore. The adults hop around, screeching, much like the catbird adults. The nestling is older than the catbird chicks.
Yep. They're strong. There's a little tail. Like how it's following you.
I guess we can put him back.
Yeah, back. You want to hold him? He's healthy.
Upon returning to the nest, it is found that the chicks are almost old enough to fledge, or leave the nest on their own.
You want to hold him? Mockingbirds. Let me just try and put this guy back in the nest.
They visit the catbird nest for a third time. The parents are nearby and give aggressive warning looks. The babies are older now, but still much too young to fledge. The team visits the catbird nest for the fourth time and finds that the chicks are almost old enough to
They're not
fledge.
gonna fledge. Oh, there's 4 of them.
The parents continue to be aggressive.
Oh, they're all tight and cuddly. Okay, I'm not gonna fledge them. There's 4 left. Oh.
On the 5th visit, the birds finally fledge. The babies have flown the coop. As Christine shrewdly realizes, When it comes to studying birds, one bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
So, like you saw, thank you for pooping on me. So, that it wasn't a solid poop means it's really good. When they're at the nest, they poop in fecal sacs, so the female can take it and move it. And I just want to get this off my hand. So they're really healthy. They'll do well. And like you saw last time, I know, you just want to move. The feathers are now outside of the straps.
Yeah.
These are the tail feathers that will come in eventually. And this little gland is the preening gland. So it secretes a wax. So when birds you see sometimes go and put beach their tail, they're getting the wax to go through their wings. This is a baby. I'll get that one. Can you hold this? And we're going to put this one. So let's let them do their thing.
Christine no longer monitors the nest after the chicks have fledged. There are more nests belonging to other species that need to be monitored.
We also look at vegetation within these vacant lots to see the structure of them, to classify any plants that we see, and use that data in order to analyze what these birds are responding to. So do birds like more lawn type habitats with a lot of big trees, or do they like kind of messy, shrubby kind of habitats? And lastly, we look at body condition through mist netting. So we capture birds via mist nets. It's a very thin nylon material line that we put up, and if you angle it a certain way to the sun, you can't see it at all. It doesn't harm the bird. It's a pretty standard way to catch birds. So if you put it up around a nest, when the female and male come to feed the nestlings, they'll fly into the net so they won't be able to see it, and we're able to then capture the bird, get the bird out of the net easily, and ban them.
Once a bird has been caught, it has to be put into a dark bag, which calms it down and keeps it from being stressed. Why do you ban birds?
So we ban birds just to mark down to individuals. So in order to ban birds, you need a permit, and we obtain the permit and get federally issued bans. So anybody who catches any of our birds that we banned, whether they may be up in Canada or down in the Caribbean, they'll know where we initially captured and banned the birds. So it's a rudimentary form of migratory analyses, so where these birds go to migrate. However, one bird throughout the globe is really hard to catch again, so we don't look at any movement patterns with the birds that we use. We use them more so for identifying down to individual. So with the federally issued bans, we also color ban them. So bands that have unique color patterns that go down to the individual birds. So if we do recite it in our sites, we can see, oh, that was the bird that we banded however many days ago, it's a male or female. We get the history just looking at it. We don't have to capture it again. So while we also ban the birds, we take all these standard measurements such as the leg length, the wing length, head and bill length, and we use that to see how large the bird is and contrast that to how heavy the bird is. So we want to see if these birds are fat and happy throughout our sites, or if they're skinny and large. And we hope that the habitats that best support these birds, they'll be fat and happy, and we could recommend different habitat types to city planners.
Okay, and what kind of birds are you allowed to ban?
We're only allowed to ban robins. I only have a permit for robins right now.
Even though the team is only permitted to ban robins, not all the birds got the message. Sometimes the team catches other species of birds. Some of the birds they have caught include chimney swifts, house sparrows,
you're squeezing the legs between your thumb and your forefinger, and then bander's grip when we're banding the birds, which we don't ban house sparrows, but you hold it like this, so you can have both legs in your hands.
House wrens, mourning doves, and European starlings.
Alright, so wings, beautiful back. So, yep, that bit. Perfect. Use that flowering There you go. Oh.
Here, fledglings are being banded.
You can go.
Okay.
I'm antagonizing them all quite a bit today.
Studying birds is not only a fun and exciting occupation, but it is also important. It provides a way to study the environment. Birds are an important and fragile part of the ecosystem. Studying them allows valuable insight into urban ecology and man's effect on the environment. The field research of Christine and her crew is a small part of a very important field of research.